Okay.
any games on the weekend, the past week?
Yeah, it's not bad. Wasn't feeling too great over the weekend for some reason. I think
Okay, nice.
weather.
I mean, okay. So, hi, Herman.
Morning.
Can you hear us?
Herman.
All right. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. All right. So I was just asking any quick wins you like to share for the past weekend.
I tested negative for COVID.
Oh, nice, nice. That's good. That's good. That's pretty nice. Okay. Nice.
Now my brother started feeling bad on Thursday, and he tested positive, as well as my father. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Okay. All right.
But we're negative. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's positive. That's a good news. That's a good news. Okay. How about you, Victory? Any games this past week?
Yeah, I think the key one was I was able to go to the beach. And I put my feet in the water for the first time. I always had a phobia for water, but I was able to go at least like a quarter through, the water was sort of quarter through me. So it was quite nice and very cold. But yeah, apart from that, it was a bit quiet. I had to be in the blanket most of the time because of the cold. I'm very cold sensitive, unfortunately.
Okay, so you get over the long time fear of the water.
Of the water, yeah.
Oh, nice. That's definitely a gain. Definitely. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So I'll also quickly share. I had a coaching session with Ben Hardy, but also he had a guest, which is Gay Hendricks. And he's actually the author of the book, The Great Leap. I think I might have shared with you the upper limit problem, the New York Times bestselling author. So I actually had a QA with him and I asked him the question, how do we identify if something is an upper limit problem or it's a genuine weakness that we have? And perhaps we should not thinking about overcoming it, but actually getting, an expert, a tool, to help us to do it better. But he actually asked me to repeat after him because I asked him specifically in the area of getting funding. Okay, I felt that has been sort of a weak spot. And I wasn't sure it's just simply weakness or an upper limit problem. But he asked me to repeat after him, saying that I deserve magnificently funding, okay, and support. Things like that. I deserve magnificently.
Wow.
Okay, funding. And he just asked me to say this sentence, like repeat that with him over and over, to the point that I started, to sort of realize that, oh yes, I do have this feeling of undeservingness inside me, okay, which can be of education, the surrounding, the background. So that was a rebelling moment, and that was really, really something, I really appreciate. And being a very experienced, coach, therapist, consultant, he could probably spot that. Okay, so I felt that was really a breakthrough moment. So I'd like to share my gain as well.
Cool.
Okay, all right. So let's start the sync. And okay, and Will Hall is asking for an absence for today because he's going to the clinic. Okay, for some. Okay. Yeah. So,
Okay.
All right. So Victor, you'd like to start?
Yes. Let me just share my screen shortly. Screen one. Yeah. All right. Okay. I think I need to send this to.
Nice.
Sorry,
I see you're taking the screenshot.
Yeah, but so the idea was I tried to clean this up a bit and sort of put it in like a flow of some sorts, such that if they sign in, there's a sign-in screen, and if they don't have an account, you should take them to the screen. And once they sign up, and it should take them to that screen. And if they click on a name or something, it takes them to the chat screen.
Okay, the conversation.
The conversation, yeah. So because I'm using the mobile screen, this is gonna look a bit blurry. But the idea is to have something like which he already does. I think the template already has this. The only thing that's not there is the right hand part, which again, it's also not it's not compulsory yet.
Okay.
But the idea is to have this, and where you can, just like your WhatsApp, where you have the chat list, the who you're talking to, and if they click on their name, just shows them the details of their phone, their emails, and date of birth, maybe.
Okay. Personal
And
information.
yeah, just very simple. I think this is a public. I'll just share project, but I'll share a
Nice.
link
Okay.
with that. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
So with regards to our leader, I've not heard from her. She might have been busy over the weekend. I think I'm deliberately keeping my emails open now just to be sure, because I think she sent me the message she sent me. I sort of missed it that weekend for some reason. I don't know how. But I'm waiting. I've sent her a message on Slack as well. Yeah, I've also updated the Xmind for the highlights, right, which is practically everything
Mhm. Okay.
except
Nice.
for maybe remove friend. Remove friend might not
Mhm.
be compulsory for now, but it's not, but almost everything is required
Okay. Okay.
for a for communication for a standard platform. Export wireframe to team. Okay, that I've not sent that. I'll send that just now. So I've been reading up on the papers. I couldn't do a lot because geez, I don't know if it's the mind block or something, but I was reading, I took down some notes on paper, but I basically need to put this also on like in a document. So what I'm trying to do now is, as I read the papers, to sort of create a literature review almost immediately, so I don't leave it to like the end and then forget which paper I read, because I think that happens quite a
Okay.
bit. Also the key thing is I've been trying to reinstall my LaTeX. I had to get another version, and this has been installing since last night.
Okay.
I don't know what's taking so long, but it's a different package called MikTeX, or no, is it no, not MikTeX, I think Live Studio or something like that, because MikTeX was simply not working. It could be a Windows compatibility thing, I'm not sure. But I think the key thing, what I sort of try to do now is, and I don't know, to sort of draft what should probably happen during the week, and from a Monday to Friday perspective, at least the key tasks for the week, and then sort of every day now break this down into like components the way we've been doing it. This way, it sort of helps to give a bit of context and a big picture to see what's going to happen or what needs to happen. And in this case, I'm thinking maybe on Monday, for example, which is today, to sort of read and write, literature review with papers I'm reading. Tuesday to basically go back to the code, rerun it. I know I already have like the code on my computer, but I don't think I was running from GitHub. I think I have a local version. So to try to just refork from GitHub, and while reforking, I think I'm going to learn more. It's going to make a lot more sense than it did some 12 months ago. On I can't remember when now, but I remember it was sometime last year. To sort of just rerun it and see what's happening and do like the test version. Also to on Wednesday to go back to the writing and to just merge what was submitted. So basically the key information that was submitted to the MMSys the MMC submission, to merge some of those elements with the literature review from Monday, and maybe even add some edits and functions. And yeah, I did notice, which was a bit weird. I don't know if I don't, did I download this? Let's see. So in the submission I made, something was off in terms of, I don't know if this was the final version I submitted, but I noticed that I didn't specify the two different types of PubSub. Maybe I read it too quickly. like I spoke about the channel-based PubSub, but I only spoke about the spatial-based, like when I was talking about our approach, which would explain why one of the reviews we got was, they didn't really. I noticed that it wasn't really emphasized.
Right. You
terms
didn't
of the
realize we were
area.
talking about spatial,
Mm.
right?
Spatial, yeah. No, I remember I thought about it. I might have even written it down, like talking about how you're subscribing to area rather than subscribing to topics or channels. That distinction was not clearly made. It should have been made in the earlier section, which I noticed it was not here at all. And I talked about it maybe briefly here, but I wasn't specifying this. I think the zone, it's easy for the person to see zone as a topic, like zone A is a topic and you're subscribing to zone A messages and not necessarily the radius or the coverage.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be a
But that was
misunderstanding, right?
that was a key. I don't know. I was just reading it again and I noticed that, but it's fine. I'll fix that. The key thing, I don't know if you saw this, the geospatial PubSub. Just the past week, I was reading something about this company called AfriGIS, and basically they call themselves what's the word now? Geospatial information scientists, where they sell geospatial data or just, yeah, right. And then it sort of gave me an idea in terms of the topic, because at the moment we're just saying spatial publish subscribe, right? And it's quite generic. But if we say geospatial publish subscribe, we're talking about there's a geo part, which is the data part, like, which is in our case the position and the radius or the coordinates, and the spatial part is the routing part or the publishing and subscribing, like getting the message from the publisher to the subscriber or subscribe. So by saying that, that might also help solve the challenge where the readers were not very sure about whether we're dealing with the content side or the routing side. Yeah. So by just looking at that, then it suggests both, I think. Just by reading the title and saying geospatial PubSub or geospatial services or something like that, there's an idea that, okay, there's geodata and then there's geospatial PubSub, which I think spatial PubSub sounds more into the routing side rather than just data side. If I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay,
but that was just that was a consideration. But yeah, it was quite interesting to see. This is something that could be relevant to companies like this, because I think they're similar to Google Maps. But yeah, asset tracking, data analytics, and all of this needs to be managed one way or the other in terms of message delivery and data delivery. And spatial PubSub would definitely be something people like this will be interested in. So something interesting. But that was just like a thing I've noticed just the past week. But yeah, I don't know if there's like any feedback. I think that's more or less the update from me. Oh yes, Kate, new branch that's on Thursday, and Vorocast I should start the development in terms of the framework on Friday to detail the steps that will be required to basically forward the messages.
Okay, all right. So Herman, any feedback on the current progress?
So I think to me, calling it geospatial PubSub, I think I'm actually okay with just the spatial PubSub, because I think that focuses on the message dissemination part. I think you are correct by saying, okay, but if we think about like GIS information, that is also something that is the type of data that might be interested in being routed spatially. The idea that I got from one of the from the reviews was also that we shouldn't be focused too widely on what the problem is that we're trying to address. I mean, I think we know that doing something like this has wide application, but I think for something like a paper like that, or for the proposal, I think narrowing it down, I think to say yes, it's applicable to this area and this area and this area, but then to narrow it down and to say, but you're focusing specifically on this area, I think that's important, because then people know, okay, but this is the problem that you're working with, and that helps to understand. The MMSys people also they're coming from systems and infrastructure for multimedia. So there's at MMSys, at least, there isn't really that much GIS which is going on. It's usually more ad hoc routing and things like that. Okay, but so that's my feedback on the geospatial, that question about that. I like that you basically, to try to think what is it that, putting up milestones for the week type of thing, to say, okay, but where is it that you're heading towards? The wireframe you've given to Winhouse, so we'll hear from him tomorrow if that was helpful. And I guess so when you say rerun code from GitHub, I'm assuming you're referring to the vast code that you want to rerun from GitHub, and just to
okay, cool. Just so fork and
okay, so that you then can continue that and and figure out how to do the sequencing detail. Okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds good. Because I think Winhouse said he's gonna need a week to do the wireframe, or to implement the wireframe. So I think after this week, it basically means that, if you want to start to test some of the functionality, it means you'll have to start to integrate with the backend.
Yes.
Okay. So Alida, I was supposed to speak to her on, I think Thursday or Friday, and then she rescheduled for this afternoon. So
okay.
Hopefully tomorrow I can say, what's going on there. Cool.
Okay.
All right. So, Herman, any other feedbacks?
No, I think that's about it. I think for the proposal, I think it is key to work through those papers and understand where they're coming from, and also to see if that doesn't lead to other papers that could be pertinent.
Okay, all right. So, so Victoria, I think that's pretty good that you have listed all the things throughout the week. Okay. And my quick feedback is that this is more suitable to be specified as a backlog, for the week. Okay, right. And then for the specific day, like today, August 2nd, just pick the ones that's going to be executed for today. Okay, I mean, this is just like a general feedback. Yes, something like that. Okay. So that we could be clear about what exactly are the important. And the other thing is to, again, not just bullet lists, but also use red and blue to highlight what in your mind are the critical items, what are the must items, what are the good to have items, and what are the nice to have items. Okay. So this is something to basically prioritize, in your mind. And then that will also be, better for us to provide feedback. And I guess the other thing is, regarding the geospatial, I think it's okay and good to describe that in the paper. Okay. And if we like, we can even, as Herman said, focus on that particular use case, if we feel that's suitable. But in terms of the work itself and the paper's title, I still think spatial pops up serves better, in the sense that it's a more generic and broader, I guess, perspective, and not just geo, because geo has the association with geolocations and globe, and usually the coordinate system, you will have to deal with, like longitude, altitude, and also the curvature of the globe. Okay, so which may not be an issue for, like a virtual map or for virtual works, or for, like factory applications, which has a definite, like a 2D floor plan, you see? So
Okay.
I guess my point is, I mean, it's quite good, I think, to use geolocation when we describe the use case. But I think the mechanism itself, we should still aim for something that's, that kind of can be generally purpose. Okay. But focusing on a particular scenario that helps. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the I guess the third thing is, I was also thinking about what's the most important thing now. Okay, for the project to sort of move forward. And we already have one track with Wenhao, right? That's working on the prototype. And I think it's a matter of time before he can present something that's, that's basically usable as an instant messenger. Okay, I don't have much concern on that. The things that's, I think, more to our core though is, again, that would be the vast, how do we adopt the vast library, right? And to make it multi-matcher. Okay.
Yes.
You're right. I think that's kind of the core, and also there's the paper presentation. Okay, so I would say there are these three parts: the proposal and the paper writing. But I do feel that the paper writing part, I feel that you have done already quite extensively in the previous phase. I mean, right now, the thing you might need to familiar is, I mean, Migro's work. I think that's like the most relevant paper you might need to study in depth. But for the purpose of understanding like what has already been done.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, the important thing is to still be able to produce like either a more detailed, Vorocast 2.0, as you said. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, I actually will consider designing the protocol, the message format, basically the message type, how it should be structured, and the protocol, the procedures, the steps. I think that is still more important and more concern. Okay. And again, that may be the basis for your later implementation, right?
Okay.
It's kind of like you have to have the design first, right? You have to have the design first.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So that's my feedback. So is it okay or?
Yeah. That's you're right. It is quite important from merging the both parts of the system together, the architectures, the back end, like we call it, and the front end. And basically that's a key, the forwarding part is a key aspect of that. All right.
Right, exactly. I mean, whether you yourself will implement or not, right? And to what degree, this is an issue. It's kind of like a follow-up issue. But before that, we need to have the design done first, right? It's kind of like that's put it another way. I think what we need now is essentially a updated fast protocol that accommodates the Vorocast capability of the forwarding mode. Okay. I think that's kind of what we need now. And we need to define the protocol, the message format, and also the procedures for this. Okay. So I mean, you can call it Vorocast 2.0 or the new vast version, however, but the idea should be that it should be like a version which, the next version of VAST should be based upon. It should be a design that the next version of VAST should be based upon to provide basically forwarding capability.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what you mean?
Okay. So I think that's actually what might be important now. And afterwards, can use that as a communication tool for the developers. It could be a leader, could be someone else, could be you, right? To get it implemented.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
I
agree.
Okay, and the other feedback I do have here for Herman is that I sense that Alida may be a bit occupied. Okay.
Yes, I'm getting that sense as well.
Right, but usually I see this as an issue of time. I mean, the surface of not having enough time is really the underlying, that the underlying cause is usually the issue of prioritization, like whether this is a priority or not. We can always make time for things that's important. So it's what's the order of importance now, okay, so to speak. So I guess an approach that can sort of approach her in this regard, I would actually recommend the what I call the Ben Sullivan question. Okay, I think I've shared that with you guys, right? In the did we do that the last oh no, sorry, the last mastermind we did not yet. We should do that for the Ben Sullivan question, asking 3 years. Anyway, I will post that. Okay, and I think it's basically the question of, okay, it's very simple. Let's say we're meeting here three years from now, and looking back at that, last 3 years, what has to happen for you personally and professionally for you to feel happy about your progress?
Okay.
I think we did something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that's kind of, and you can have different versions of this, like 1 year from now, right? For example, you can have a shorter time frame. But the essential thing is what would be happy progress for you, personal and professional. And I think it's one way to really figure out to understand, like what's really important for this person. Okay, that the person who's being actually asked the question. And if he or she's willing to answer, that means she trusts you, and also there's she's willing to have a long-term relation, right? A conversation even 3 years down the road. So that's actually I would suggest that maybe one way to approach. Okay, and to see if there's something that's really important for her, and whether this project now in its current form may be of help, okay, in any way. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if that makes sense, or
No, it does. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, what do you think?
I also got the feeling that she's been not that focused on the project or her masters for that matter. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay, so not just the project, but also the graduate study part, right?
Well, I mean, the two are kind of intertwined at the moment. So, but yeah, I did get the feeling. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
So I like to spell this out because I feel that this is important to, get people to onboard, right?
Yes,
to really also, it's not just they are helping the project, but also the question of how the project might help them, help the members in advancing, what you care about the most, right? Like for Wenhao, he liked to get his English polish, and like this will be the opportunity he otherwise wouldn't have to have like daily conversation with English speaking people on something that actually is meaningful. Okay, and not just conversation practice, right? It's actually work related. So I mean that, I guess just kind of an idea of the kind of how we might be able to figure out how project can serve, right? The members better.
Cool.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I guess that's a feedback for Herman.
Welcome.
Thanks.
All right. So I guess and also for Victory, I mean, if you have a chance to talk to any of the team members or people you might want to recruit, the Ben Sullivan question, I will post this question. Okay. And it's an open question, anybody can use that. And even if you learn why it's important and why is it good, you can also, people can also use it for their partners and clients to learn more about and build long-term relations. Okay, so it's a nice tool. All right, so Victor, you would like to wrap up with today's task?
Yes. So I think today I'm just gonna make this the priority. The Vorocast sequence details. So tomorrow nice. I should have the format in terms of the process flow, as well as the data type or structure. That should be forwarded based off the Vorocast or the original Vorocast, and maybe some added tweaks.
Right. Sure. All right. That's good. Yeah. And you can always refer back to the vast procedures and protocols. Okay.
Yeah.
To see how you should design that. Yeah.
All right. I actually also wanted to ask, this is more a question for everyone in the team. I've actually been looking publicly for example, like, is it possible to sort of pitch some of these things at like maybe competitions or something?
Okay.
I'm not sure, like just I noticed that the more I speak about it, or the more you sort of talk about the project and explain, and you actually sometimes get solutions and even clarity. I noticed this as well over the weekend when I was trying to explain to a friend and you sort of can see it more and more. And I was thinking, is it okay if I sort of look around for like public forums to sort of just pitch the idea and then sort of garner for feedback or something?
I think so. I mean, what does Herman think? Well,
no, I think it's fine. No, I think it's fine. Well, it'll definitely help you. What do you call it? Refine the concepts so that you can explain it to people.
Yes, exactly.
And getting feedback is always good.
Yes, exactly. Because I know there's a couple of competitions. I think there's even a hackathon somewhere. But
nice.
But yeah. Okay. I just wanted to be sure that that's fine. All right.
That's perfectly fine.
That's fine. All right.
I mean, I think this is an important enough problem in the sense that both its impact, but also the difficulty that potentially is involved. The challenge. I mean, it's not something that you could easily sort of have a solution to do. Yeah. And we are facing this over many years of research and, in relevant fields. So, I mean, don't worry about, any kind of leak or things. I think, being able to attract talents to help join on board or together provide feedback, that's very helpful. Yeah. Okay. So will that be all right?
Thanks.
Okay.
Yes,
all right.
yes,
So that's sync again tomorrow. All right. At the same
tomorrow
time.
morning. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Thanks
So
so
talk
much,
to you tomorrow
everyone.
then. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.
All right. Take care. Yeah. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.